Hi everyone, welcome to this reading and intuitive channeling. I wasn't going to do this, I was just listening to it at first, but I just randomly felt like coming on here, so we'll see what comes before me. There are some themes that I've seen over the past maybe like 2 days, and there have been really big shifts. I've been trying to keep an eye out for the astronomical and geophysical weather, but in my internal body, in my being, in my emotional body, some crazy emotions have been ranging. I've been having pretty regular realizations, like it feels I've been having deep considerations that themselves have taken on a new form and shape in my mind. So I'm reconsidering things that I have before, but I didn't consider them with this much depth. And so the depth that's available to me is very healing. I can feel that this is a very, very, very healing period for me and for us all. But with the healing, obviously, comes needing to face the pain, the pain of the thing that we're healing from. Something that's been big that I've seen overcome a lot of people who have the propensity to be shy or maybe anxious, social anxiety, you overthink conversations sometimes. Also people who don't like making mistakes, but not for the sense of perfection or any kind of like self-belief or confidence, just more like they hate making people unhappy. Yeah. Mistakes make people unhappy and uncomfortable, and they don't want to make people unhappy and uncomfortable. You know, it's really for the other and not enough for the self. We have a full moon in tropical Leo approaching in a few days. And I've been seeing a lot of people who have that propensity in them awakening from that and really just giving less of a flying fuck about what other people think or feel. And even if it doesn't translate as you not caring, it could also be coming through in the form of deciding or feeling like you want to do something that still kind of makes you a little bit shy and nervous, but you still feel the drive to do it. Like someone who's also Tarita in the tarot community, shout out Kobe. I will link her profile in the description of this video so you can check her out. We were discussing this morning the sense of just coming out of your shell, and she's feeling into the timing of that for her, the need to just do something different, man, you know? And it's wonderful if by chance you've been feeling the propensity and the vibe and the pull for change, if you are also understanding how you can bring that change about in your own hands. That's also wonderful, a big theme, and something I'm not good at. So that's why I'm going out of my way to congratulate you if that's something you are finding you can transmute, because I'm still practicing. But the energy to be able to do that, to practice, get better. Put yourself out there, like I mentioned, do things that make you nervous, challenge yourself, face your fears. Anybody deciding on that right now, I think, is going to come out with very, very wonderful fruits by the end of the season, by whatever it is that they're trying to do. I also saw someone, I need to find her name. Let me say her name. Her name is Yana Media via YouTube, whose link I will also provide in the description. I was just checking out her work and saw that a few days ago she posted about her journey to entering a national slam competition, which I think is the fucking coolest thing ever. And that's it. That's exactly what we should all be doing right now. We should all be really engaging with our identities and our egos in a way where we take them and we put them there like, hey guys, look at me. Look at this. This is what I do. This is what I'm into. This is what I like. These are my vulnerabilities. This is where I'm still working on myself. This is where I feel icky, so you don't touch that. But look at all this other stuff that I love about myself that I think is cool. Look at all these other things about me that just make me feel good. You know what I mean? And if you're not at the stage of wanting to show that, then maybe at least sit with yourself and look at yourself in the mirror and point out things that you love, and really sit with that. Use the upcoming full moon as a ritual for that. Like I mentioned in previous reading, Leos are so brilliant at holding love and radiating it because they have enough of it to spare for themselves first. If you find a Leo that's self-deprecating, you know that something totally inverse is happening with them. That's the shadow side. But also, I have never, ever met a Leo who is self-deprecating. Every single Leo personal placement person I've ever met in my life, even if they're not a Leo sun, right? But they have a Leo Venus or a Leo rising or a Leo Mercury. They love themselves and are very, very good at loving themselves. Almost too good. So watch out for that as well. The other shadow aspect of a Leo, of anyone loving themselves almost too much, is creating this very hard, energetic boundary to what you can receive. They are very hard to change unless the suggestion of change comes from you're already amazing, right? But I also think that, it has to start with you're already perfect the way you are, but that might be something that helps you. I don't know, just being more tender to yourself. But I think in general, it can get a little bit narcissistic. That to me is, I think, the energy study of narcissism, when the boundaries is just so hard and so rigid and that it becomes almost poisonous to everybody, to you as the one who is narcissistic and to everyone around you with whom you're practicing or projecting that narcissism, So it is actually a full moon of narcissism. So while I think we have an opportunity to really get into loving and adoring ourselves, we may also come into projections of other people, from other people who do not love themselves, and then that gets revealed. Be aware of that in you too. Any projecting behaviors that come from a place of you not loving yourself, that feels like something that's going to show itself. But otherwise, energetically, I've been feeling very expansive. So what I've been feeling over the past few days is, specifically since the weekend, when just before Neptune transited, it's been feeling like like every day is different. Every day feels like breathing energetically. Every day I'm feeling big into something, or I'm feeling small into something, and it's just so expansive. And I think that's part of what I have been struggling to handle over the past few days. The leaps in emotions and processing makes me feel like I need to be on meds, honestly. It's that draw into insanity that this spiritual practice brings us all into. I feel at the edge of it. I'm feeling like I'm chartering new territory. And it's making me feel a little vulnerable and insane and sensitive. There is this fucking machine that I thought I could sit through, but I cannot. You see this? You see? I just feel like, come on. That was an annoying sound. Spiritual practices are also really, really important. They, I think, in my opinion, are going to work so much better than they have before. And I think that they're going to continue working so much better. Morning, Lisa. They're going to continue working better and better through time because of the way that the Earth's energetic grid is changing. Have you guys also seen that apparently the Earth's poles have done a shift in the past few months that should only be done in a span of 5 years? But we did it in like 36 months. Well, we didn't do it, the Earth did. The Earth shifted. The Earth's poles shifted. That, I think, has to do with the geophysical weather. Check out Stefan Burns. He is so up to date with all of the details, and he gives extra. Like, he gives his facts, and then he goes, this is why I say it's a fact, because look at the past of this. He has such a science mind. I'd be damned if that's not an Aquarius placement or a Gemini, but more Aquarius. He behaves like such an Aquarius. I'm obsessed with that. Anyway, I've also been seeing, so like I said, to the awakening of people giving less of a fuck, the meek, yes, the meek are awakening. The meek are awakening. They're taking more control of themselves. I've also been feeling into a theme, and I saw someone actually word it exactly like this in their status today, that people who normally tend to care so much about other people, if you're feeling a sense of that, if you're feeling a sense of taking back your feelings and kind of wanting to genuinely care less about other people, then I hope you don't feel like a bad person for that. That is something that's definitely necessary. It's on purpose. It's part of the timing. I believe it's part of the Neptune tropical Aries shift, and it would make sense. Think Bubbles, Powerpuff Girls. There's an episode of Powerpuff Girls where it's all about Bubbles and her toughness. She is, if I remember the episode correctly, and I'm mentioning this in detail like this because it feels like a theme, she starts off being very, very soft. Her sisters tease her about her softness and how she should probably just do things just soft and easy because she can't take it. She's a little softy and that's okay. And Bubbles loses her shit and goes, no, I'm actually hardcore and I can prove it to you. And she keeps pushing and pushing and pushing. And then she reaches a level that the rest of her sisters fight at. And in order to push past that level, she has to tap back into her softness. She has to release, emotionally express, cry, scream, I think, if I remember that episode correctly. So yeah, very important. If ever you identified as the Bubbles archetype, this feels like a very big theme right now. This full moon feels like a theme for Pisces placements, or people with Pisces in their personal planets. Obviously for everyone, for the Leos and even for the Scorpios. But I get the sense that a lot of tropical Scorpios are not going to take this full moon they're not going to use it to their advantage in the way that they should, because we are very, very good. Because yes, I am a tropical Scorpio stellium. I love to speak and say things as if I'm not part of a collective, but I am. We tend to be very self-deprecating, very negative, very victimizing, and we also tend to really hate Leos, and Leo placements. So I don't know how we're going to take that. But if for the Scorpio placements who have done enough work in the area of self-victimizing, this I think could be a really fun moon to alchemize and turn things around. But it's still going to be work. It's still gonna be work. Oh, full moons are never, ever easy for me, ever. It's always just such an emotional whirlwind. And I find it funny that while I've been complaining about the way that I've been feeling over the past few days, knowing that we're walking straight towards a very energetically intense full moon and month is hilarious. Try to open it. Powerpuff Girls is still on. They've done a re-something of it, where even the illustration gives a different experience. So I don't really like that. I really prefer the Powerpuff Girls from the 90s. Okay, let's get into the reading. Sorry, everyone. See what the cards have to say. I guess because I've been talking a lot about the full moon, then this might be like a pre-full moon thing, or cards that fall out that give us a sense of what we can prepare for when the full moon comes up. But I also just get the sense that we're walking through an energetic tunnel of some kind. So let's just pull cards to discuss what this tunnel is doing for us. What is this all about? I don't know what kind of themes might come up in here, because I did just do a reading a few minutes ago that covered quite a bit about a sense of impatience and needing to surrender to timing, the usual. That's another thing about this journey. It's so easy to recycle the things that we say, right? Because all of it talks about the same thing. So how can I yeah, it's just difficult to bring in anything new at this point, not just in like the tarot, esoteric, anything, because we are so far into the future that We've pretty much seen everything like 1,000 times already. Ooh, this is nice. The Ace of Pentacles. Is there a new job offer? Is there a new material experience, material expanse? I did just get approved to go live on TikTok, which I find so stupid, by the way, because I remember when that didn't need to happen and we were just all just going on live for the fuck of it. So anyway, I got approved and I have 14 days to make the most of it. That might have something to do with, for me personally, that's possibly what might be coming on for me, is how that could change this whole thing that I'm doing. Which is nice because I have been wondering how I could make more of what I'm doing here. I used to watch that. She's 24 now. Shout out. She's probably my twin. We're watching the same thing, So we have the Knight of Pentacles in reverse again, as it fell out in, I think, the last live stream I did. And then we have the Knight of Swords, the Three of Wands, which fell out before, and the Hermit, again, fell out before. There's like... And then we have the High Priestess beneath the deck. How funny. Wow. And the Wheel of Fortune insists on showing itself. The High Priestess, Wheel of Fortune, the Hermit. It seems like a lot of people are underestimating how much of what they do on Earth and how much specifically of how much time they spend in their day-to-day experiences, how much that affects their energy. So it's not just about what you earn money doing, affecting who you are and making a lot of who you are as a person. It's about what you spend most of your time doing. Where does most of your attention go? How do you interact with life in general? Someone, for example, who is working a job they do not enjoy, or someone who is working a job and therefore putting most of their attention into something that they don't enjoy is someone who is also communicating to their life and to their universe that they do not enjoy. They just don't enjoy, like they don't enjoy life. Do you know what I mean? Energetically, if you're pouring all of your awareness and attention into something that you don't enjoy, that is all of your awareness. That is 80% of your day in, day out being spent on this thing that you don't enjoy. I feel like a lot of people are underestimating how that works or what that means, what you communicate to the universe. You know what I mean? Through everything that you do, not just these jobs, but through everything. So I'm getting the fact that a lot of people are going to be changing their minds very, very quickly over a feeling. And these people who are changing their minds over a feeling are not used to doing that. I'm getting a lot of people being awakened to the importance of following your intuition. And a lot of people making the decision to go all out in following their intuition, no matter what it is that it's trying to say. God bless. It's about damn time that people become brave enough to decide to leave, you know? You have the Two of Cups as well and the Four of Wands. This is somebody possibly deciding to leave one relationship and enter another one that will leave them feeling more fulfilled, or in control, rather. This is also somebody... Oh, I received it. Hold on. Oh, yeah, this is somebody delaying the decision to leave. This is somebody further delaying something. I've also been getting a sense of that. Like I've been feeling into a wave of collective experiencing the need to choose to do something. And every time they get the chance to choose to do it, they just don't do it. But it's like this choice has a life of its own, you know? You can push it as far back as you want to. You're still going to have to eventually make that decision. So meaning somebody who just keeps resisting deciding to do it. Specifically, somebody who keeps resisting deciding to leave a relationship. Or somebody who keeps resisting deciding to leave a job. So they say, I'll do it next week. Next week comes, now's not the right time, apparently. So we'll do it tomorrow. Tomorrow, looks like, do it. It'll be too much energy. Let me just do it tomorrow. No. This kind of thing, this kind of, should I, brings a tower. This invites a tower. The universe watches you closely, sees everything. And it actually, with the presence of these two, it's not the universe, it's your own soul. It's your own intuition poking at you going, please just make the decision. It's there, do it. You keep deciding not to do it, that's when the tower hits. That's how it goes. That's how it works. Be aware of that. Be aware of resisting making decisions that you know. Be aware of resisting making decisions because they are scary to make. If there's anything at all in life, not even just decision making, if there's any place where you feel there's still so much fear in it that it makes you still and you can't move, expect that place to blow up in one way or another. And as it does blow up, be prepared to deal with that thing you were always scared of, Fear is not the ingredient right now. Fear is the most anti-life. It's the most trashiest, it's the most lowest point right now. It always has been, but right now, the fear, the shame, and the guilt, it's reached a new low. And you really don't need to be there, especially when you are so powerful and you have so much ahead of you. You have so much potential. This to me is like whatever decision you are trying to make, or wherever your fear sits, or whatever it is that you're trying to resist, or even whatever it is that you feel you're subconsciously called to feel through, even if maybe, because this is also the card of like a low in life in general, like a dip or sense of depression. Wherever you're at right now, know that this is essentially the universe all the time. Try to take this period, whatever it is that you're going through, this deep period of spiritual introspection, regardless of what you're going through. This is giving a very deep restructure of your spirit to world relationship. Know that you are supported. You're supported. So sweet. This is also like just a random, here you go, from the universe. Just here you are. Just take it. Receive. This is a period of that. This is like that point in the hero's journey when, it's that point in the hero's journey when the hero feels very uncertain about the next move, and then the universe just gives you something like a boost. Like in the Hunger Games, when they would give the players like just little medicines for healing, random foods, water, tools, whatever, That's how the universe seems to want to work with you at this time, but you have to be willing, obviously, to sit through the shit. And there seems to be quite a bit of it right now. All my love to the people in the Northern Hemisphere as well. Something about the way that the earth is shifting via its weather behavior, it feels very intentional. I know that it's scientifically a link between the planets, the sun, solar activity, whatever, but it just feels like it's all bringing everything home in a very kind of way. It feels very heavy in some parts. The Northern Hemisphere and the snow is quite crazy. I don't know what I would be doing. Yes, there's a magical aspect to it, but I fucking hate being cold, and I hate being sad. And being cold and sad. Anyway, I don't know how this would come out, especially in this phase. But if you can understand it, please remember the power of your mind. Please remember the power of your mind. Please be aware that when you look towards your future and you have hope for it, that a lot of that hope that you have has to do with your ability to perceive the hope. I'm getting the sense of somebody who is trying to be hopeful for a future but is struggling to see what to be hopeful for. You have to create what you want to be hopeful for. You have to make it happen. You have to decide, that you have to decide about what to be hopeful for in your future. Put things to be hopeful for. Be like, want something for yourself and then be hopeful about that thing happening. Keep doing that. Keep practicing that in order to rewrite your reality anew, because it just feels like right now it's just not at optimum. It's not optimal. Like, you could be happier. Things could be coming in quicker. There could be more of an openness in the way you perceive things, but it's just not happening. It's spiritual, it's intentional, it's intuitive, it's your soul trying to tell you something. With the Hermit and the High Priestess, I am also getting a mirroring aspect going on here between two halves, where the feminine energy, the more feeling energy, is very tapped in, very intuitively sensed, very grounded, very, very grounded. And the more feminine sense, the more masculine sense, the harder sense, the logical sense. This could even be a pair of people who are due to be together but aren't right now because they are doing their separate work. Highly likely. That's what I was feeling into at first because of the union energy that just constantly permeates the air every fucking day. Every day, you guys. It's just, it doesn't leave my side, doesn't leave my shoulder, you know? If you are in your singlehood right now, please focus on it as lovely and as wholesomely as you can, because you are about to be very unsingle very soon. A lot of people are their lives are going to change in relationship. But anyway, point is, this could also be a sense of you within, where your emotions, they're grounded, everything's hardy-dardy, and your masculine side, the part that wants to take action, the part that can do things, maybe even your physical sense, feels tired, disconnected, like it's going through a regroup. I can say that that's the case with me, where my logic seems to be going through this pressure cooker of needing to look at life differently. You know, it's time to stop being so logical and start being more open to the flow of life and of accepting and of being open to experience things as they come, you know, instead of always trying to keep hold of every part of your future. Be willing to just go about your days, being open to what happens. I am going to, so I put all the cards back. I'm going to shuffle from the intuitive tarot deck and then leave the reading at that. Wow, brilliant. And the Seven of Rods underneath the deck. I think we're doing a lot. We're doing a lot bigger work than we know. We're doing very, very impressive work in tackling our inner demons and coming out more hopeful, because it's really all about that. It's really about our inner energy field, our relationship with our lives, our ability to be hopeful, our willingness to flow with our lives. That's all it's been about. It's never been about the amount of work you put in. It's never been about capitalism and all the fake shit of this world. It's always been about you and your willingness to face this beast within you. This card upright speaks of skewed attitudes and perceptions, expediency, lack of integrity, justification and denial, major shadow issues, perversion, greed, envy, deceit that need to be owned, not denied, old entrenched patterns, especially those involving anger, fear, or sexuality, enslavement to material things. I don't know if I said this in this reading or the one that I'd posted and recorded a few minutes ago, but I feel like if anybody is finding themselves unable to process and walk through this, because this also feels like a collective dark night of the soul we're going through right now. Anybody struggling to manage the way through this needs to really start by letting go of your material senses. Start by trying to release all of the expectations you have on the amount of money you should have by now, or what you should be able to do with your resources, or what job you should be working, or whatever. It seems like a lot of this is rooted in that this should be happening, but it isn't. Try to let go of that also very material. So also if you relate to the relationship romance part of it, if you feel like you should be in a long-term relationship by now, you should be married, you shouldn't be single. Did that way of thinking. There's no should be's in the land of God, in the land of your soul. It's all up to God, whose senses of which you have no idea of, because this is actually where you're at. This is what we deal with every day. There is no way that we can get the full sense of what God's vision is if this is also what we're up against. And that's also part of the deal. This is what we agreed to, depending on your beliefs. As human beings, with the human experience is tied to this. That's how we get the more full, the fuller, that's how we get the fuller perceptions of life. This is what we need to keep remembering. Yeah. This is a very, very, very spiritual time. Please let go of all expectations you had on your material world, because none of that matters right now. And every second you spend trying to hold on tightly to those expectations is going to put you further and further into, it's going to make all of this harder. It really will. I don't know how to describe it. Or I don't know what this is. And as I say it, I don't know if I'm going to be saying a really basic, normal idea. But we can't... Oh, yeah, okay. The material world is too dense. All of this stuff, it's too dense for the work that we're trying to do and heal from right now. So you have to let all of it go. Meditate as often as you can. That might be helpful. And yeah, allow time for time. Give time to time. It's one of my favorite sayings ever. And I don't even remember where I got it from. But give time to time. Yes. Give time to your process. Give way, give room for your life to play out. Stop trying to take control of everything and make sure everything goes your way. Blah, blah, blah. It's too crazy. It's too crazy. Also a message for myself. Crazy, crazy times. Might get crazier, but we'll see. Anyway, we can only have fun. We can only observe and know that we're protected. We always are. I hope that this was helpful. Thank you, Lisa, for your comments and for your energy. Thank you to everybody who watches and keeps up with my work. I'm very grateful. I'll see you in the next reading.